Hustlers. What's going on, guys? Good morning. Welcome back to Everyday Struggle, Nadeska Akademiks, and Wayno here.
Good morning.
Just the three of us again. We had Yo Gotti on yesterday.
Yeah, I'm still trying to gauge the fan reaction if they like more guest episodes or just us. You know, usually like in the media world, they like when they see the people we talk about. But I don't know if that's the same with the show.
Yeah, some people definitely tell me no guests, but also I think fans like when guests do topics with us. But only a few artists would do that. Like someone like a Tory Lanez who gives no fucks would do that. A lot of artists don't want to talk about other Nick Cannon.
Yeah, trust me, we do try to the audience, but it's really hard to get like, you know, some artists, they don't want to talk about another artist, you know, especially when they're on a press run promoting themselves.
Right, absolutely.
Shout out to Gotti though, his album is out. We're gonna talk about it in a little bit, but first, we're gonna start with Jay. So you guys remember a few days ago, was that this week? It's all like a blur at this point. Akademiks felt like Jay was sending mixed messages by sitting during the national anthem at the Super Bowl. So during a Q&A at Columbia University, he explained why he and Beyonce sat down, basically saying they didn't even realize that they were sitting. They were in artist mode, really caught up in discussions about what they were watching. And he also said he wouldn't even put Blue in that kind of situation. Take a look.
So I think a lot of people should know the fact that you and your wife were seated during the national anthem at the Super Bowl. Was that meant to convey a statement?
It actually was. Sorry. It really wasn't. What happened was it was not premeditated at all. Like remember now the context, like TMZ can tell you anything without speaking to me. I need to tell you, if it was me, I would say, yes, that's what I've done. And I think people know that about me. I'm cool with it. And then, so we get there and we immediately jump into artist mode. So now we're looking, I'm like, did I tell you Yolanda Adams performing? And you know, I got the choir from Miami. You know, we want everyone to be involved in this, and they're the ones in all that I'm telling them, we're talking. And now I'm really just looking at the show. So I'm looking at the show. Did a mic start? Was it too low to start? We added a bunch of sound because the sound was done for TV. That last note, it was beautiful and they missed it. So the whole time we're sitting there, we're talking about the performance. And then right after that, Denny comes out and we're talking about how beautiful she looked and how she sound and what she's gone through in her life. For her to be on the stage, we were so proud of her. And then, you know, it finished and then my phone rang and it was like, you know you ain't just, I'm like, what? and by the way, we couldn't stage that. Blue was right next to us. We wouldn't do that to Blue and put her in that position.
All right, so I see Ak looking around, rubbing his chest, twiddling his fingers. What's good?
I want to hear what Wayno got to say. Oh my God, Wayno about to choke. Oh.
No, I mean, I didn't think, that's what I'm saying, I didn't think nothing of it. I didn't think that it was like a statement that was trying to be made. And then on top of that, it was other people who were sitting down as well. But of course, like, it's Jay and Beyonce, so they got singled out. But like, there's not much thought to this. I didn't even think we would hear explanation about it. I just thought it was what it was. I wonder what Colin Kaepernick thinks about that. I know that Akademiks thinks that everything Jay says is mostly a lie now, but I don't think nothing of it. Like, it wasn't nothing to it to me.
Why does Wayno? Oh my God.
Well, go ahead.
Well,
you know, I want to hear the conspiracy because you know Ak gonna come with the he's saying this now,
orders
but
that we don't believe Jay. Actually, I believe Jay wholeheartedly. I believe Jay about this.
Okay.
I just feel like his explanation was so fucking long-winded. It's 4 minutes. Like, if you sit and watch the whole video, like, all he had to say is that, hey, my wife's feet was hurting. We barely could hear the music. We didn't know we were doing it. Wasn't a statement. You know, it makes sense. And again, that clears it up. That clears up the mixed messages thing. And as I said, my whole position was that Jay had publicly said that we're past protesting in a way by saying we're past kneeling. So I don't want to see you protest. I just want to see you do your other shit. Don't do both. And then, like, speak out almost in saying that we're past what Kaepernick was doing. So you sign the deal, do what you're doing. And there's nothing wrong with it. And I think he cleared it up to say, hey, we weren't making no fucking statement, you know? And I don't know if he's gonna make a more profound or like official statement about what that was. But you know, one thing I think we talked about it on Monday, I did fail to elaborate on is that the whole kneeling thing, like, it was really a domino effect. It's really that the protesting thing, is really that strong. We had the president tweeting about it.
Yeah.
It was hurting NFL ticket sales.
Right.
It was hurting advertisers who want to advertise with the league, who basically said, hey, listen, if some of your players aren't going to respect the national anthem, you know what, we might be cool with this. And again, every business runs off advertising. They run off these partners who usually subsidize and get income into it. And the NFL rely on these partners, which, whether you want to call them racist or whatever, they weren't rocking with players kneeling, right? Because most of their base was saying, yo, this is anti-American, this and third. So hearing Jay say that, Jay can't kneel. They ain't no kneeling, ain't no sitting. Jay's supposed to stand. That was my whole point. You can't protest and sign the deal. Makes no sense. Like you can't sign the deal and then be anti, like, you can't sign the record deal and be anti, like, label online.
It's crazy to see how much.
Unless you just want to be a hypocrite or you're trying to appease two fan bases.
But it's just crazy how much the national anthem has so much to do with sports. It's like the NFL don't own the national anthem. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think if it's your choice to sit, whether you at a football game, basketball game, you have that right to sit. If you want or not. Like, even down to kids, like, my kids don't even know what the Pledge of Allegiance is. They don't even do that in school no more.
Oh, they don't?
Hell no, that shit is embedded. We had to do that shit every morning in school. Every morning. I remember one time we were supposed to cross your right hand, right, or your left hand, whatever it is. I put the wrong hand on in school, and my teacher wowed on me. So it's like, I think that if you don't want to do this shit, you just don't have to, regardless to political view. If that's just not your point that you're trying to get across, no matter what deal you take or no matter what business you're doing, if that's your view at that small, how long does it take to do that shit?
Yeah, I don't know. Is it cool to sit and put your hand across your heart?
Why the fuck do you gotta put your hand across a heart for a song? Like, I don't know.
That's why, like, you know, again,
things are different.
If we gonna be all the way, like, on some, man, fuck the system shit, we gotta really be on it. We can't be halfway.
Okay,
because
so what
really
does that mean?
It means this. The majority of people who support the people who really get the majority of money from ticket sales or ads or whatever to the NBA or the NFL, they don't look like us. They're most likely Trump supporters, middle-aged white America. They don't give a fuck about what you thinking.
Right.
And to be honest, they're always looking at shit to say that's not the ideals or morals we have.
Right.
So again, if you don't want to stand for the flag and you want to do some other shit, again, especially if you're signing deals with them.
Nigga, people sign deals to have jobs every day. Like, no, seriously, when you sign, so I'm just saying that doesn't mean that you can't go watch a game.
No, Jay's deal is different.
No, but you saying when it comes to that, if we're gonna go that hard, then everybody has to just walk out their job. Like, you know what I mean? And people sign deals to work at places all the fucking time. And we work for tons of people who don't share the same political, moral, or ethic values that we do. That's fine. I think that if you don't wanna if you don't want to fucking agree with the song that is 2 minutes long or a minute long, that doesn't mean that you can't watch a game or you can't work with a company. Like, that's just my view.
No, I agree with that, because that's standing for the right of Kaepernick, Eric Reed, others who don't stand, or they might kneel. That, like, I believe you should be able to protest, right? But again, I'm just saying, for Jay, you know why you got that deal, nigga.
All right, well,
your
now
deal
you have his
was to
explanation.
pacify niggas, and don't take the pacifying deal and think you gonna do self-expression. That's done.
I guess academics.
Goodness gracious.
I guess.
All right.
You fuck with Jay, though. I like his explanation.
All right.
I believe. Yo, why you think I don't believe Jay?
I don't think
he's a
you believe
liar.
anything I believe.
No. I don't think Jay's a liar. I don't think Jay's a liar. Like, I don't think.
For real?
I don't think Jay's a liar. Nor do I think he's a bad person. I think there's a misconception of the public of what Jay is and what Jay really. Jay is self-interest. Jay ain't for us.
No,
I totally disagree
Let's
with
just
that.
not get into this again, because I feel like you're very. I feel like we should do a little bit more research and present some more facts before that is just your
This nigga
definitive
said,
statement.
I don't think-
Because you're basing it just on the Super Bowl thing. Nothing he's done.
He's not for us. Like, by
it.
us, who do you mean by us? Who do you mean by us?
Wait, hold on.
YouTubers. He's not for
Yeah, exactly.
No.
He's not for the little fucking
No.
kids with your
No.
block. Not for us, what you mean?
Listen, Jay is, all I'm saying is that I've seen a pattern. I'll give you another example. I got examples all
Who
day.
is us? Just tell me who us is.
The nigga be talking, like, just remember when we were talking about the record label shit? And you even said it.
Right.
Because I think you kind of got the same mentality, a little bit. Where you're like, yo, y'all go sign to the white man, but y'all see our black brother. It's the same shit Jay-Z was talking about, that bullshit at the Tidal B-side concert in Brooklyn. Yo, y'all go fuck with Apple, but y'all don't fuck with us. I'm black. I'm like, nigga,
But you was talking about title, not labels.
No, but what I'm saying is that I'm speaking about Jay in other examples. What I'm saying is that he used that to fucking leverage, yo, y'all won't fuck with, why won't y'all fuck with this when it's owned by us as opposed to Apple and third? And it makes it seem, that message makes it seem, Wayno, don't look at me crazy.
But
It makes it seem like, why don't y'all fuck with, like, our shit when it's just self-interest,
It's
bro.
not 100% self-interest.
so
You got to give him a little bit more than
What part?
But no, this is the problem. Wait a second. Wait, real quick. This is the problem. Niggas think that every time they sign up for a subscription to Tidal, that they put money in Jay-Z's fifth pocket. Like, that's what they think. Oh, I'm giving him my money. Oh, you don't think about that when you fucking sign up for Spotify. They've all given us the same type of fucking music. And we all talk this support black business. We caught flack off of miscommunication on supporting black businesses supposedly. So my thing is like, okay, so you won't buy a Tidal, but you don't think about that for Steve Jobs and none of these other niggas who make none of these streaming services. But if he says it, then he's wrong. That's the problem.
It comes across as pandering when that's your only listen,
That's the problem.
I had Tidal before. To keep it real, the user interface.
That's the only tough thing, the user interface. You're getting the same fucking music.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, don't use the sympathy card to make it seem like, hey, listen, we should support
Why
this.
not, nigga? Everybody used the sympathy card. Why the fuck not? Don't do that.
All right, okay. So you use a sympathy card, but don't be so surprised when after like we see it in 3 different avenues, we start saying, bro, you're not on some support us shit. You want to just support you.
What?
No?
Nigga.
All right, bro.
No, we shouldn't though. Fuck that.
You know.
This nigga be bugging. I feel like, I'll say this lastly. Everybody say a closed mouth don't get fed, right? Until you say something, then niggas say, oh, you shouldn't have said that. That's the biggest problem. Everybody say, oh, no, you should speak up. Then the nigga say something, then it's, oh, no, don't say that, though. Like, you should just compete. How do you compete? These are fucking big streaming service monsters. Like, how do you get in? And from my understanding, don't you get a bigger percentage of your money coming from that streaming service as opposed to others? So Jay-Z's not for us?
Well, no, I'd rather him argue that point. If he argues that point, I'm good with it. Black people are the only people you could just fucking, yo, listen, man, you just gotta support us because you my brother. Like, it's the same reason why.
But if you
argue the
I know
facts.
we getting on your nerves. Listen, I support any business if you got the right product. But if it's a black business and you have the right product, I'm going to you first. That just is what it is. I'm keeping it 100. Maybe that's my bias, or I'm a Jay-Z dick rider, whatever case.
No, I think you guys both have good points. I just feel like you're being very extreme right now. Like, I understand that to be a good businessman, there has to be a lot of self-interest. Cool, but for you to say definitively over time, Jay does not care about black people, it's all about business. That's how it comes off when you're like, it's just...
Act don't support black business. That's the conversation that everybody not ready for. Academics does not support black business.
I'm a black business.
All right then.
I never promote my business by saying, okay, I have a media company. I never say, hey, rather than checking out TMZ or Complex, come to Act because I'm black. Never. I don't think that's a way of promotion, bro. I don't think that's the way how to try to get people in.
I feel you, Academics, but you're using the same 2 examples over and over.
Okay.
He's done things in the past that had nothing to do with business as far as I could see.
Well, we keep bringing up this NFL thing, which the narrative is, or was, let's give Jay the fucking, the opportunity.
He got Yolanda Adams on.
Huh?
He got Yolanda Adams on.
Yo, let's move on.
I was doing this All right, man.
Thank you, Wayno. Oh, man. All right, so confirmed that Nicki Minaj, of course, definitely not retiring. So she recently previewed a new song on Instagram. It's rumored to be called Yikes. She did get some backlash, though, because of one of the lyrics where she mentioned civil rights activist Rosa Parks. The lyric reads, all you bitches Rosa Parks, get your ass up. So TMZ is reporting that, Nicki had no intention of disrespecting Rosa Parks, and sources say the timing was just bad. So Rosa Parks' birthday passed on January 17th recently.
All right, pro-black man, go ahead.
Yo, I have no problem with this at all. You know what the biggest problem I have with this is that rappers can't say shit no more. Because it's tons of examples of artists that have said lines that could be deemed offensive that I just deem as a line.
Yeah.
I remember one time Cameron said, kill you like Mike's pops for new Jordans. I didn't take that as, oh my God, it's so insensitive. It just was a line about what was going on. The whole, okay, this is the thing. All right, yeah, I am an unapologetic black man. Do I think that Nicki Minaj don't give a fuck about Rosa Parks? No, I just think it was a way of her just saying, y'all in my spot, get up like they told Rosa Parks to get up. Like, I don't think that it's this deep dive that we need to have on this lyric, and I feel like this is what makes people go in the booth and say, oh, I shouldn't say this, I shouldn't say that, and that takes away a lot of artistic expression, which I hate to see that in rap, because now the bar is laid so low where you can't say fucking lines like this.
I kind of agree. I don't want to agree with Wayno today. Today's not the agree with. That only happened on Tuesdays and Thursdays. But truth be told, even back to Cam, like, I believe if Cam spat the same lines, what was I forgot the preceding line, but like when he's like, yo, my closet's a pet cemetery. I believe if he said that, if a poppin' rapper who had a lot of attention said that, in 2020, he's apologizing to PETA. You get me?
No. You haven't heard Roddy Ricch? I'm rocking furs and furs. I'm probably beefing with Peter.
Well, that's a little different. I mean,
it's different, but
that nigga named about like 8 animals. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
rappers can't be apologizing.
Yo, Cam was.
No, we gotta draw the line somewhere.
Yo, Cam was like really good, but like, I do think what's happened to comedy already is being threatened to happen to rap. Comedy, like for example, like Dave Chappelle's latest special on Netflix is considered to be like so out the box, controversial. And if you honestly listen to that as opposed to one of Richard Pryor's stand-up or even
Richard Pryor was violent,
or even a Bernie Mac stand-up or like
my fault, Act. Keep your thought. But Bernie Mac, I just want to interject real quick. Bernie Mac could have never gotten away with the shit. Remember he was doing about the autistic kid and stuff like that? But go ahead. My fault.
And if you compare Dave Chappelle's stand-up to those, pale in comparison. He's bringing up points. He might be pushing thought a little bit, but the examples and imagery is nowhere close. But it shows the time we're in a very sensitive time. The only thing that's ever been protected against that, as again, and I know this is a fact, Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle, what's this white comedian? I forgot his name.
George Carlin.
What's the dude who Wally like working with?
Oh, Seinfeld.
Seinfeld. Okay.
But
all of them have denounced working, doing stand-up shows at colleges. It's the most PC places on earth.
Really?
They can't really be funny. And within those with restraints where everyone is so sensitive, you're left to do a dry show that you don't even, yourself, you don't think the money's worth. It's never happened to rap. Of course, certain lyrics go over the boundaries. Like, of course, if Ross is saying Molly or champagne, get it, right? You know, certain lines go, like, those are things you should get backlash for. But this right here, like, this is so light.
Just reaching, yo.
You know, it's like,
reaching.
You're seeing what's starting to happen, especially as social media, like the social media, like reaction is the main thing.
The outrage machine.
My only thing is because I don't think it's a big deal at all, that particular lyric. And I don't think she has any ill will to Rosa Parks or any anti-black sentiment. Come on, it's Nicki, right? What I will say is that I'm wondering if she'll get that same type of, because there was a lot of buzz around the snippet. She hasn't put out a snippet in a while.
Yeah.
She has been quiet for a while. We've seen her with Big Zoo, you know, like
allegedly retired.
Family, yeah, allegedly retired. I'm wondering when she does drop this song or album or whenever it's coming out, will it be, because it was going crazy.
Okay.
And it was, I was a little bit shocked. I thought she would have dropped something and people be like, oh, whatever. But like this shit was really buzzing. So we'll see when it drops officially, but that I'm not mad at all.
Yeah, I'm not mad either.
She spits.
Yeah.
All right, well.
Who was mad at that? We got to send that to Big Zoo. He'll pull up on it.
Why do you have to keep saying his name?
Stop.
And saying it the way that you do with the emphasis. Stop it.
I'm just trying to make sure.
Oh, man.
You ain't listen to Queen Radio?
Oh, man. Yo, so speaking of shit that rappers say, the young legend Billie Eilish, who recently cleaned up at the Grammys, just did an interview with Vogue magazine where she calls out rappers for lying about their alleged guns and women. So she says, of course, just because the story isn't real doesn't mean it can't be important, but there's a difference between lying in a song and writing a story. There are tons of songs where people are just lying. There's a lot of that in rap right now from people that I know who rap. So she goes on to give the example of rappers talking about their AK-47, and she's like, you don't have a gun, all my bitches, and she's like, which bitches? That's posturing. Shout out to Billie. What do you guys think?
It's a very interesting week in hip hop where we have pop singers telling rappers that these niggas ain't about that life. I mean, not seriously.
A very cool pop singer, for the record, who does collaborate with a lot of dope rappers and takes them on tour with her and stuff like that.
I feel like she was kind of subbing. I feel like I feel like she was subbing, and I feel like it was kind of directed to people she might be more around. But when I think about it in as a whole, she's not wrong. She's not wrong. Like I said earlier, people always compare rap to WWE. Oh, it's fake, oh, it's fake. No, wrestlers know that they faking. And I'm gonna keep it 100. You probably can't beat most of them if you wanna fight them. Wrestlers know they faking. But rappers really be believing the shit that they say out of their mouth, and they be lying. A lot of them lie. No, seriously, a lot of them lie. A lot of them talk about catching bodies or doing this or doing that. And then you see different instances where they end up in a city where some guys run down on them because they talking tough or talking whatever, and it's not like that, or they getting their jewels took and this, that, and the third. I think the most rappers don't know how to draw the line between entertainment and real life. If you entertaining, like with Lil Tecca, when Lil Tecca said, I got two twin Glocks, turn you to a dancer, and he went on Genius and said, yo, I don't have no Glocks, I don't shoot no guns, I'm just rapping. I can respect that. What I don't respect is these dudes who portray a certain type of image and sell that image, and then when they get in a tough bind, say, that was never me. I wasn't into none of that. I'm just a good kid, you know? So I'm not mad at Billie Eilish for saying that.
Okay.
But it sounded like she was directing it to somebody she got a problem with that's around her.
I'm a little bit torn by this, because I got a problem and I don't.
Okay.
Because it represents both kind of how I feel. Number one, I do think she's talking about the likes of Lil Tecca.
Okay.
People rapping about things that you clearly know. Like, you know, this is social media. Like we clearly know. You're even saying it. Like, yeah, when I sit on the record, that's not my real life. So I do think she's talking about those people. Let me start off with my problem.
Okay.
My problem is that she's a pop singer. And only in hip hop do we hold this realism fucking standard to where everything you say you must do, must be willing to do. A lot of shit that's very detrimental. So you're rapping about killing people. Like the movies like you could see a fucking actor like in a movie like doing karate, killing 20 niggas. But you don't, if they're at a drunken fight at a bar, you don't expect them to kill 20 people. But hip hop, and by the way, compared to other genres who also do rap about very extreme stuff, you know, and maybe not necessarily just killing, but they do rap about death. There's rock and many genres, they have, not rap, but they have sung and expressed art about death.
Absolutely.
Death, womanizing, drugs. We're not into their lifestyle like, yo, are you doing what you do? No, you actually you take it for what it is. But rap is the only thing that if Wayno said he's gonna slap so-and-so, when I see Wayno and so-and-so, I'm looking like, if Wayno don't slap me, pussy.
But I'm gonna tell you why. That's because outside of rap is where they portray that. You can rap however you want. Like, honestly, thinking to myself, being a teenager, listening to a lot of the artists that I listen to, I didn't necessarily think that all of them was doing everything they said, especially when I started seeing like Fredro, who was a part of Onyx, released the album Back the Fuck Up. They was like almost kind of like the New York version of an NWA, right? When I seen him become an actor and be on Moesha. You know what I mean? And he had like, you know, he was like the thug guy on there, but he was like nice to Brandy and a sweet person. So I started to understand acting. The problem with a lot of artists today is beyond the rap, as soon as they have a problem with somebody, instead of expressing you know, instead of finding the person and them having a conversation as men and expressing their differences, they get on Instagram. When I see this nigga, I'm running in his mouth, I'm taking his jewelry, I'm doing this down the third, and then the same shit they said they was gonna do, they go somewhere and it happens to them. I think like, and this is just, it's not just in hip hop, and this hood mentality, because I always speak on this hood mentality, it's like a sport. If you saying that you tough, it's niggas that want to see if you tough. No different than if you say, yo, I could hit 10 jumpers in a row, somebody gonna say I could hit 15. So I think like that's the only problem in rap. We adapt the hood mentality into the business. That's where it gets convoluted and the messages get crossed. But I do agree that with you where we not checking into their shit. But we don't give a fuck about their shit, that's why. They influenced by our shit.
The next thing is this. I've always believed, and you know, I definitely don't want to make this a racial issue, but I do believe this is a suburb/non-suburb like issue, where for the purpose of this conversation, when I refer to white people, it means the suburbs. Hip hop used to be, and I still even think still is to some extent with certain artists. It's like being at a safari where the motherfucker in the suburbs. I remember listening to The Game, and I ain't never been in a shootout in Compton, but listen to that nigga. I felt like I was driving through Compton,
right,
and he just showed me the shootout.
Right.
Honestly.
Right.
So when I hear an artist like Billie Eilish call some of these artists out, like it kind of makes me feel like she's almost saying, what's up with the real shit? Like, what y'all doing? And it's like, you don't want, like, first of all, hip hop has been through a lot of shit.
Absolutely.
You don't want to be nowhere near the motherfuckers who are actually going through some real shit.
Right.
You know, like, when you start criticizing, you got a platform like that, and you're almost basically saying, okay, so none of y'all ain't about that life? like you're not even near that life to be really calling them out. Mm-hmm. And I'll say this, because people said that to me.
Okay.
People said that, yo, you can't call out so-and-so from that lifestyle. You're not living it.
Right.
That's why I've evolved even how I've dealt with certain stuff. Like, for example, and to bring up old issue, but I remember even saying to Cass, I was like, Cass, why you didn't get that type of way with those people? Mm-hmm. But that's as much as I could do. I can't be like, yo, Chief Keef didn't shoot back at whoever.
Yeah.
At that point, you seem like the ignorant, or you seem like someone who's trying to fan the flames to hope some shit happen.
But you know what? And to your point, like, see, it's taken serious when Billie Eilish is saying it, because now it's a topic. Casanova say it all the time about a lot of these artists, because he is a person who's, you know, been in prison for years.
I think he has the leash to say it though.
But when he says it, people are not putting the magnet.
Yeah.
People not like when we hold up the mirror to ourselves. Nobody never wants to take it serious. As soon as somebody outside says something about our shit, then it's like, you can't tell us how to clean our fucking house. This is our house. But at the same time, when there are people who say it, there are people, and when I say Cass says it, Cass don't say it in a way where like he's trying to antagonize people. He just be saying like, yo, I've been through it. Y'all don't want none of this shit. But don't nobody take it serious, because they like, oh man, you just saying that because your record ain't go this, or you ain't. But like I said, when somebody else holds the mirror up at us, then that's when we start taking it serious. I think that we need to take it more seriously when a lot of our internal people, even this goes back to I think about Pete Rock. Mm-hmm. When Pete Rock was saying, yo, this shit ain't real, like, where's the authenticity? You know, where's all of those things at? When he says it, then people looking at him like, I mean, I did agree, we did both agree that some of what he said was BS, but it's for real. Like, when he says it, people like, oh, this old nigga don't know nothing, but we should take that into account.
Now, this is, and again, I told you I was a little bit mixed on this.
Because she did add, so at the beginning, just full disclosure, I didn't get to read her whole interview yet, but she does, it's not like she's saying like everything you say has to be, she says just because the story isn't real doesn't mean it can't be important. So maybe she's just trying to highlight the things that they're focusing on. No,
and I think that's kind of a little bit where I agree with what she's saying in terms of, I do think certain artists now, like, they use lyrics, rhymes about weapons, guns, violence, drugs, as it sounds cool.
As a crutch.
You know, it just sounds cool, right? Like, shoot, like, you know, and I really even hate to bring this up, and I don't know his character all that well, nor would I, even if I did, I would speak on this platform. But like, why been on Mighty J? Why been on Mighty J if you listen to his music? He's a guy who says he got the chopsticks, get your block lit, all of that stuff. You get me? If you listen to his music, sounds like a guy who should be feared. I'm being honest with you. Now, when you see what happened to him in New York, I think some people look at it like, wait, what happened to the music? What happened to that? And I do think, and again, I don't want to speak on his character and how I wouldn't do it on his platform or at all, but I think some of those rhymes are said by certain artists just because it's cool.
Yeah, but another thing is like when bringing up Almighty J, then I gotta go to a Drake line that I know he would appreciate. Niggas call me slipping, okay, so what? Because that's a part of it too. Yeah. If you're gonna be saying that you live in a certain type of life, that's something that comes with it. So I just think that, you know, not before when artists did, you know, rap about a lot of the tough shit that they was going through, 50 Cent will show you, yeah, I was doing this, but I got shot 9 times for the shit I was doing. That's the consequence. We see Sean, yeah, he bust his gun in the club, but he went to jail for 10 years. You know what I'm saying? We see what different artists go through publicly. As long as you're letting your audience know the consequences of your actions, and that while you might be speaking about this certain type of life, you're speaking there from a standpoint of how you're living, and that's your expression, tell them what can happen, what comes with it.
Yeah, I think she was really calling out a lot of suburban
people that, yeah.
like Rich the Kid, Smoke Perp, they litter their music with gun lyrics and lyrics about violence. And I think people are saying, I don't think y'all like that. Yeah. Again, I might be wrong on putting words or thoughts into her mind, but I think that's part of it. The only thing is that, like, truth be told, you don't want everybody to be about it. Because to keep it real, there's so many real consequences, and when somebody gets hurt, somebody gets locked up, we sitting here, we criticizing them, like it's a catch-22 is don't win.
We seen the biggest example last year of people who are not about the life that they say they live, so.
We'll talk about him shortly. Stay tuned. Side note, speaking of pop stars, last night I watched Taylor Swift's documentary. I was folding laundry.
Doc?
Yeah, I was like putting away and folding laundry for like 2 hours last night. And
you've been doing laundry for like 3 weeks now.
Yo, literally it was like 2 months of laundry. I've been traveling for like a month and a half. Anyway, besides the point. So after watching this documentary, I actually felt kind of bad for Taylor Swift. I never thought that would happen. So when the thing happened with her and Kanye at the VMAs, at least from my perspective, we were all such big Kanye fans. It was just an iconic moment. I thought it was amazing. But when they played back the footage, there's this like shot of her where you just see her on stage looking so sad, and I forgot she was 19 at the time, and I think someone said she was crying backstage. So she explains how that shit like affected her and sort of fucked up her train of thought for years to come. And then the lyric in Famous, I don't know, it was a lot. I was surprisingly
Did she explain her snakish moves towards Kim and Kanye?
Well, that's the thing. She's saying how, like, especially because the audience was booing at the time, she didn't know they were booing Kanye. She thought they were booing her. So it like really affected her. So then she's saying also, even though they had the conversation, she never approved him calling her a bitch. And it's interesting when you watch it all in context. That's all I'm saying. I feel a little bit bad for her.
I mean, like Kim recorded her on some 50 shit.
Yeah, it's just crazy because, you know, we always see things one-sided. I always say I didn't know who Taylor Swift was until...
None of us did. We were all just cheering for Kanye. But yo, the shot that they played back kind of breaks your heart a little bit. She's just standing there looking so crushed. She's like 19.
I'm gonna watch this over again because, yo, like, Taylor is not the sympathetic figure to me at this moment, but maybe, I think all these docs are meant to do something.
Of course they are. So I have that in my mind as I'm watching it. But then she shows also, like, so after the Famous thing, they were trending worldwide, the Taylor Swift party is over. I don't know, it's like a lot. It's a lot.
Every doc that drops is to contextualize something about an artist that they're like.
Except the Travis Scott one.
No, the Travis Scott one was supposed to give him a personality and
that was just a montage.
Yeah, it was just horrible, I guess. The Birdman thing was to make you not seem like a robber and a thief. Like it made
I actually like the Travis Scott one only if it was emphasized on just the show. Like, you know what I mean?
Cool. Like I enjoyed watching it, but it didn't get like in depth.
Yeah, I didn't leave that feeling like I know who Travis Scott is. I just felt like, yo, I thought it was amazing, like his growth with him doing shows, but other than that, I didn't leave like saying, yo, he's, you know, I know who he is now.
Right. What would the narrative in your doc be, Akademiks? What story would you be trying to spin? The rebrand or the misunderstood Jamaican immigrant who was just working hard?
I don't even think I'm misunderstood. Like, listen, I love it.
I think so. Now, I mean, of course, you have a lot of fans. But I
love the misunderstandings. Like, you know what's great? And like, I see it about other artists, and we're gonna talk about his album, if not today, definitely tomorrow. Even like artists like Russ, like, I see a lot of people come back around. Like, again, sometimes when you're of pure intention, your delivery might be wrong, and your method of going about it might be wrong. But if your message is right, people come back around. So being misunderstood isn't always wrong or bad.
Yeah. Look, I would watch an Akademiks documentary.
I want to watch an Nadeska documentary.
I watch both of them.
Thank you, Wayno. All right, let us get through some quick hits. So earlier in the week, we talked about Pastor Troy being really upset about Lil Nas X's outfit at the Grammys and just generally being homophobic. So he made an appearance on The Morning Hustle show, doubled down on his comments, but insists that he's not homophobic, and here's why.
I'm not homophobic at all. You know what I mean? Much as I trip out with Gary with the T over the years. I've been doing this for 20 years. This is the first time we're having this conversation about me.
But that's like saying I have a black friend if you're a white, like Trump.
No. 20 years I've been in this rap game. I done took more pictures with gays, transvestites, all of that, man, because it's not my concern. You know what I mean? What you are, what you do. You know what I mean? You like the music, take a picture, that's fine. Just because I took a picture with this gay person don't mean I got to go home and tell my son, hey, man, it's all right to be gay. I just took this picture with this gay person. It's cool now. It ain't.
Are we in? Like everybody's just quiet as fuck. Right. Moderate, like you're supposed to segue us into the question. There's no question.
Are you not homophobic if you take pictures with gay people? I mean, what am I supposed to ask here?
Hey, I see even on this show and pretty much in the culture, we criticize so much of the younger artists for whatever they do. We really don't sit back and criticize the old niggas for like a lot of fucked up things. Bro, this is the most like homophobic way to answer, and it's not because he said, because of course, I don't even think I have a black friend or I have a gay friend is like homophobic or racist. I think it's him like definitely stamping. It's not because I took a picture with the motherfucker, mean I'm gonna go to my kid and tell him it's cool. You know what I mean? It's like, basically, you're saying that you took a picture because you had to, but you definitely don't approve of the lifestyle. And not that you have to approve of the lifestyle, but you definitely aren't, it doesn't seem like you're open enough to, again, just homophobia or racism, that you might not have some prejudice against it.
Yeah, I mean,
no, man,
it was. I ain't gonna front. Like,
oh man,
it was going. And listen, man. Like I said, that's that man views. You know what I mean? But like, once he said, it's not like I'm gonna go home and say it's cool. Like, that was the only thing I was like, kind of crazy. But I mean, listen, man. He got the right to live his life how he wanted to live it, man. Like, the thing is that when you have to understand that there's people that's not gonna agree with. No matter what it is that's done. If he doesn't agree, just let him not agree. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna state my views on it, but that's me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't state my views on things like that. But I think that that's just how Pastor Troy feels, man.
Listen, man.
That's how
be gay,
feels.
be straight, go back and forth, do whatever you want to do. It's your life. Doesn't matter what this guy says.
I don't give a fuck. Like,
it's not affecting anyone else.
Well, luckily for him, like, he's, a veteran legend, right?
Absolutely.
And he doesn't have to worry about, cancellation, because could you really cancel a legend, right? Even though they tried. But to keep it real, I don't think much contemporary artists would handle that issue like he did.
Okay.
Without some serious PR nightmares.
For sure.
I think that like the LGBT community are Googling like how to cancel Pastor Troy, and they're like, the fuck?
I just wonder how it's
going
gonna be, 'cause
on.
he's from Atlanta. I wonder how that's gonna be, because Atlanta's, heavy state. So I would wonder how, like, if him just being out in Atlanta, if he's gonna receive backlash in the public.
And definitely not defending him, but I do think it's about how you speak on certain shit, because this is my whole opinion on like everything he said. Like, he's just really saying, hey, listen, in my family and how I raise my kids and like privately, this is who I am. And this is how I hope things to be.
Yeah, okay, just for the record, and we should move on, you cannot raise your kids to not be gay. That's just not how it works. That's not how it works. But anyway, rappers are really trying DaBaby, man. So he did a performance in Miami recently, and a rapper put a USB drive of unreleased music in his pocket while he was getting on the stage. Take a look. right, man. So we felt like the guy who hugged him and put his hand on his hip was a lot. This is a lot. There's a lot.
See,
I want to hear what Mr. Harlem got.
You know what I got to say, Akademiks? Because guess what? If he'd turn around and smack the shit out the nigga, then you'd have been like, man, baby, he got to stop beating people up. You violating this man's private
like
space.
Like a firm elbow or something.
Like you could, I'm just saying, like you, not only did, that was the guy that was holding the camera that did it?
I think so.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, come on, bro. Like, that's not going to put you on. Like, that's going to put you on. Slipping USB. That's what niggas is doing, slipping USBs in people's pockets. That's where we at with it. That's how niggas, like, that's the way to get on
This
today.
MacBook doesn't take that anymore.
MacBooks don't even take USBs no more. What the fuck? The USB is now the CD. Newsflash, for y'all who don't know. A USB is like a CD now. Like remember the first early stages of the CD where you like, man, I don't know if I'm gonna fully be on this streaming shit. I'm still, I still fuck with the CDs. I'm gonna still upload my CD into my computer. That's what a USB is.
Has someone ever tried to airdrop you something? Someone tried that with me on the train. Airdrop me a
I don't ride the train.
Hey, fuck all that.
Oh yeah, sorry. I forgot I'm still regular.
Whoever just sent, y'all remember like last week they sent like 3 iPods up? iPods.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I still think it's a bomb. I don't know why HR ain't really handle that shit, but I can tell they don't really give a fuck about it.
Bomb is a serious thing, Akademiks.
No, it's a fucking bomb. Like that shit came out in 2006. It was an old big
Like,
ass.
people were trying to be cute with it. I don't know.
Ain't no
But there's
cute.
no instructions and no chargers. So if you're watching and you sent us those, we don't know what to do with it.
We reported it to Homeland
I
Security.
threw it away.
Or
I gave mine away, so.
I'm
it was a waste
reporting
of
to
your
Homeland
time.
Security.
But
Don't
I'm
ever
just
do
saying,
that.
man, stop violating people's
I have an
space.
email address. You can send it to, and I'll forward it to spam.
All right, guys. So I think in summary, please stop using outdated technology to promote your music and stop trying DaBaby. He's just out here working hard, right?
Yeah. Leave
That
man alone.
is our show for today. If you have fan questions, please send us some. We're on Twitter at EverydayStrug with 2 Gs. Send us a video, 30 seconds or less maybe. We'll see you here tomorrow on Everyday Struggle.
Let's get some videos on Thursday.